All right, this is the Where My Dad's At podcast, and we have the first guest. He is, man, cool dude. He's a father. He's the founder of Team Marco. He's a friend. Marco Barnes, founder of Team Marco. What's going on, man?
I was doing with you.
Chilling, man. Chilling. Happy to be here.
Nice.
Happy to have you in the place to be. And yeah, this is just an opportunity to hear your story.
Absolutely.
It's a fatherhood podcast, so we do focus on all things fatherhood.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, if you're a father, all things that you do, that you love, that you're passionate about, that you struggle with, that's all part of fatherhood too, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So, it's not like it's separate. You're a father, and your child is watching you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Marco. I'm the original member of Team Marco. And myself, I'm a person that likes to get people to achieve their goals, not only in the fitness, but in life general itself.
Right.
You know? So I came up with the Team Marco program back in 2008. And it was just started off with two people just working out in the gym like buddies, you know. They meet me, we'll work out, have a good workout, head on back to work, you know, and this continuously was happening for about, I would say maybe like a year or two. But of course, you know, life hits you, you know, I didn't have as much from the time I was beginning out, you know, only 2 clients is not going to pay the bills. You know, I had little side gigs, you know, working as a bus driver. I was a bus driver. I was a camp counselor. I was working at Frito-Lay Chips.
Right.
You know, I was, you know, that 23, 24-year-old, you know, guy that's trying to make hustles, man, you know. But, you know, life hit you pretty hard. You know, it hit me. You know, I had my struggles, you know, as, you know, young Black males do in America right now. You know, it's really hard for me. You know, didn't have no health insurance, you know. So I was one of those, if I got sick, you know, I'm sipping on, you know, medicine, you know, I can't go to
Tussin.
Yeah, you know, I can't, you know, I can't afford the doctors, you know. I was riding dirty, you know, no car insurance, you know, I couldn't afford, you know.
Wow.
But, you know, I had a tragic accident. I was in a bad car accident, man. I was driving on, I think it was the Merrimont Bridge. I remember that, man. And all I remember is that a car crosses me and nothing but black hit me. That's all I remember, just blackness.
Wow.
And I woke up and I'm crawling out my back window, and all I remember is a lady run up to me and she was like, "I didn't believe that you survived that." She said, "Your car flipped 7 times.
Are you kidding me?
7 times, man. And I was just like, yo, you know, that by the grace of God, I shouldn't be here, really, man.
Right.
I shouldn't be here, man.
Right.
You know, young guy doing stupidity things, you know.
Right.
I would say, yeah, alcohol probably involved with it, man. You know,
Okay.
you know, and I was just like, man, you know, I gotta do something with my life.
Right.
You know, I gotta do something.
Wake up call.
Wake up. It was.
Yeah.
I believe it was a wake up call, man, from the guy above. You know,
Right.
you know what I mean? I was just like, I gotta do something, man. I gotta do something. And I remember me contemplating when I got home, man. I was just saying this. I can't be here because all I'm doing is getting myself in trouble. I mean, yeah, I'm doing my PT, but 2 clients is not doing nothing, man. I gotta do something. And I remember I was laying in my bed, and all I saw was the vacation spot, Carnival Cruise Lines. I was like, man, I can do this. I said, maybe I should put this in. I can travel the world.
You just saw that in your head?
I saw that. No, it was
Like
it was a commercial, like vacation planning, whatever. You know what I mean? Like Carnival Cruise Lines coming so good. I said, man, I can't afford to go on a trip. But I was like, man, I can work on this ship.
That's smart.
And probably do I can get out of when I'm, you know, the situation I'm at, and, you know, I can travel the world.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, my brother was living in Fort Lauderdale, and I was just like, let me make something happen. So I went online, did the application. 2 days later, I get a phone call saying, can you get to Boston in 3 days for the interview? I'm like, God, I don't got no money for a ticket. my car ain't going to make it. It was like a 95 Saturn. I'm like, man, this thing is not going to make it, man. I ain't going to make it. So I opened up a credit card. Again, I had to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
I opened up a credit card for like $1,000, man. And I bought that airline ticket. I got there. I had enough money to sleep in a hotel maybe for like one day. So I slept at the airport hotel. I went to the interview the next day. They interviewed me. They was like, my background was strong, you know, with the physical fitness. I did it for like, you know, a couple of years. You know, I worked around kids, you know, in the YMCA. So my YMCA background pretty much helped me a lot. And, you know, I gave them, you know, a strong interview, you know, and I left that interview thinking like, man, I might not get this, man, you know, because I was a, you know, big black man. I'm around all these people, you know, I'm kind of like, man, this dude, like, you know.
Feel like you're standing out.
Right, I'm standing out, intimidating. I was like, man, I'm like,
I get that feeling a lot.
You know what I mean? I feel like, man, I don't know. So left the interview. Again, I didn't have no money for a one-day hotel, so I had to wait for my flight the next day. So I slept on the airport on the chairs for like a whole day, man.
Wow.
I had no money for no food, man. So I'm sitting there eating like airplane, like crackers and stuff for the trip I came for. I was like, man,
come on.
I took a bite, some water. I'm like, all right, man, I had to make this thing last, man.
Right.
I had the next flight home. 2 days later, man, the lady was like, I want to give you this job to come work for Carnival Freedom. I'm like, really? They was like, yeah, he said, you're a background, we're working with kids. Do you mind doing being a manager of Circle C? And I said, what is that about? He said, you know, like doing like sports programs with them and doing that, doing like video games, obstacle course, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. I said, yeah, the opportunity. She said, only thing is you got to buy your first airline ticket to Fort Lauderdale. Okay. And after that, they'll pay for everything else.
Right.
So I looked at my credit card I had at the time and I was just like, man, I got enough just for a ticket to get there, man. And I have to stay and I had to stay in Fort Lauderdale for a couple of days to my flight till my the boat gets to the port of Fort Lauderdale. So I had to ride it out. I said, where I'm going to sleep. I'm like, man, I'll go stay with my brother for a couple of days. I said, I'm good to go, you know. So I bought the tickets, man. Got down to Fort Lauderdale. I slept on his couch for a couple of days.
Okay.
Freedom left maybe that Saturday, man. I get there, man, and I walk on the ship and you see people from like Africa, you see people from Brazil, you see people from England, you know, and I'm like, man, it's a different world, you know. But I say, you know what, I have to do this because I can't go back home. I can't go to Virginia because right now that's not the place for me. That's not the place for me to be at right now. So I was just like, you know, I gotta ride this out. Right. The first week was hard. It was hard. It was good. Was it? It's hard adjustment, you know. As the manager on the ship, I was my hours from like if it was a sea day, I worked from 9 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock that next morning, man. Are you kidding? It was adjustment, man. Yeah, but we broke up the times. Right. It was just, you know, there's no light in the rooms, you know, so I don't know if it's day or night, day or night, you know. Of course, homesickness, you know. Right. So a lot of that impacted me, man. And I was going to be like, man, forget it, man. I'm just going to go ahead and go back. I had that moment, man. I had that moment. But then I had a talk, man, with myself, man, in the little small cabin I got on the ship. It was like, it was small. And I was like, look, man, let's do one contract, see how it goes, man. And, you know, let's take it from right there. So I started doing my job, man. And it was fun. It was fun, man. You know, teenagers, you know, we talked, messed with each other, played basketball. We did sports games. I ran different obstacle courses for the kids, man. And I grew. It was like, you know, everybody started coming to my ship just because I was on the ship. They were like, what ship Marco going on? And they were like, that's crazy. He's going to New Orleans. All right, I'm going to buy my ticket to go to New Orleans then. He said, because my child loved him. He said, like, he's very athletic. You know, he's not sitting down. Like, he's out there with the kids, like, getting it in with them. Like, we're on the basketball court. I'm like, I'm not pity-patty with them. I'm throwing elbows in your chest. Like, these kids are like, crazy. You know, these kids are 8th, 9th grade. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, hey, look, we're going to get it. We're going to do this, man. We're going to do this thing, man.
They need that.
Most definitely they need that. So I was like, it became fun for me, man. It was something that I really need. And then,
That's what's up.
Right. So I just kept riding with the dude. So it was overall that ship life really kind of set me up, man. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. How old were you at that time?
I had to be like 24 or 25 years of age. Yeah, because I was in the middle of my 20s, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. You had to do something, man, because like Biggie Smith, all you want to do is party and
Yeah.
BS, man.
Yeah, but think about it like, okay, so the most common paths, I think, right, would probably be military.
Yep.
Go to college.
Yep.
And hope to get a job. Probably don't get a job in your field.
Yeah.
The path that you took was a very unique path. It was a very unique path.
I mean, you got to think about it too. Like I have two older brothers, man. They did that route, right? They
Right.
did that. Both my brothers, man, very, very intelligent, man. I would say they're very intelligent. They're, what they do, man. They did the thing. They did the good grades in high school and college.
Yeah.
After college, they eventually found their fields. Me, man, I wasn't. I was an average old student, man.
Okay.
I had learning disability.
Right.
I had learning disability. Things came to me slow. I was like, I just knew when I was in high school, I was like, man, I did sports.
Yeah.
I played basketball, did AAU, all that. But
Okay.
I wish I was a little bit taller, man. But I couldn't. I was like, man, this is not going to happen for me.
Right.
Football. Yeah, I was an outstanding football player, but
Right.
I didn't have the coaches that really helped me out to put what I had to go to,
Right.
even to help me, set me up for colleges and help me out with even probably to set up a tutor for me,
Wow.
it was, I didn't have all that, man.
Right.
So, I had that fire, I had the fire, but I just didn't have the person to kind of guide me in that direction, man.
Yeah.
I was very intimidated for my brothers, man. They was
Really?
doing their thing. Yeah. I was sitting, they had it, man.
Right.
And I wish I did. And I always compared my problem was I always compared myself with my brothers.
That's all of our problems.
Yeah, I did.
We all do it.
Yeah, I compared myself,
We
man.
all do
I'm
it.
like, man, I wish I could do this like like him,
Right.
I'm like, and it was hard,
Right.
and other people, sometimes parents don't know, but sometimes parents do. Sometimes they compare, your kids.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
And they
for
might
sure.
they might not know that.
Right.
They might not know that.
Right.
But it was when you hear that, man, you kind of like, man, like, so I eventually went to ODU for about
Okay.
2 semesters.
Right.
2 semesters. But I knew what I wanted to do. I said I want to do something in health and fitness.
Right.
But if people don't know, before you go, you got to do undergrad, right? You got to do like art study and history study. I'm kind of like, oh man, this is just like, you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there kind of like, where is the stuff for like?
You ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get right into this thing,
Right.
man. You know what I mean? Like, so I gave ODU their check back. I said, here, you can have the check back, man. Cause I know one thing I learned from my brother, they give you money, they're gonna want that money back. So I was like, hey, you can take that money back, man. I pay the rest off whenever I can.
Right.
I went to TCC, man. TCC got people don't know, they have a personal health and fitness program there.
Right.
Man, I went there. Within a year and a half, I was done.
You were done, yeah.
I was done,
That's
man.
crazy.
And I had the smarts for it already.
Right.
I had the
crazy.
smarts. I had the natural smarts because I was working at the Y and group fitness
Right.
at the time, and I was going to school. So when I went to class, they were talking about the body, the bones and stuff.
Yeah. You like
I'm sitting there like, man, I know this. And the teachers, I was older than half of the professors in there.
That's
I started,
crazy.
you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there giving them the real terms of the muscles and stuff. They're looking at
Are you
me
kidding
like, okay, like this guy pretty much knows his stuff.
Right.
I'm the first person done with the tests, whatever. Everybody's sitting there like sweating for midterms.
Right.
I'm sitting there
You acing it.
like, I'm sitting there, chatting. After I get done, I'm sitting there like, hey, I'm about to go back to work.
Right.
So that came easy with me, man. So
That's what's up.
it was good, man. It's real good.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, your story is definitely one of those inspiring stories a lot of people need to hear, man. Especially younger cats.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think too, like me hearing it as a father,
Yeah.
like now I can kind of use that as an example,
Yeah.
as inspiration to how like I'm gonna help my kids,
Yeah.
get through those times where they're like, man, I want to give up. You know what I mean? So, our dog is coming up here. She ain't gonna do nothing but lick you. Look at her, scared. But He's scared. You better go downstairs. Yeah, but no. Hey, there's some bacon treats right there on the thing. Why don't you go get a treat, girl? Sorry about that.
Oh, you good? You good?
We don't have all of the wrinkles wrinkled out.
Oh, you good? You fine?
You know what I mean? Go get a treat. Shake it. Shake it. Go get some treat. All right. Yeah. But yeah, I look for those stories. My situation growing up, like, I didn't necessarily have a direct example of what it looked like to like progress and mature as a man. You know what I mean? Like I had people around. I had coaches. I had different people. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate my peers. You know what I mean? And appreciate what they bring to the table and how we can enhance each other. You know what I mean? You talk about your story from having an accident to waking up and realizing like a lot of those moments, we don't wake up from. And a lot of times we don't wake up physically. But if we wake up physically, we still don't wake up mentally. You know what I mean? So we get right back into it, or we go into depressions and stuff like that. So we all battle with that stuff, but to see where you are right now wearing that sweatshirt, you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
like that's dope to me. That's dope to me. And it's a real inspiration. And that comparing thing, that's another one of those like, you know, I don't know what your beliefs are faith wise. But that's another one of the ways that I feel like the enemy works on you. It's through comparison.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that because you know they like to see you battling with yourself, right? You know what I mean? That was I think it was more like a mental state for me, man. You know, I'm like, man, I just gotta stop because you know this person might have a situation I don't know about, but you know they're smiling on the outside, but you really don't know what's going on in people's life, right? Like, I'm like, but I see, I'm like, man, I want that, man. That's what I want, man. But who knows what they went through to get there, right? We
have no idea.
We don't know.
Have no idea. Yeah, that's true. That's very true, man. That's very true. And even as like fathers, like we were talking about, you know, our kids in sports. I grew up playing every single sport. I started playing soccer at 7. Never looked back. Baseball. The only thing I didn't play was football because my mom was scared of me playing football. Because she found out at my size I was gonna have to play with the bigger kids, which probably would have made me a better football player because I eventually played. But you know, she was worried about me getting hurt. You know how moms do. So you know what I mean? So super overprotective. But I'm thankful for it. But you know, now having my own kids, I want them to play sports. Man. So bad. You know what I mean? Like I want it so bad. It's one of those things. Like I said, I look at you and I'm like, man, my kids ain't doing it. But that's the comparison thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the comparison thing. So,
but you know, I didn't even push my son. To play sports, man. I think him being and seeing what I do. Every day at the Y. See, that's it. And outside the YMCA, doing my clients, and then you know, the sport. I think when Marco was like 3 years old, man, he was like. I just knew that there's something different with this child. Like, man, this dude's different. This dude's different. And he came up to me and actually we learned how to, start speaking more. He says, like, you know, I want to play sports. I'm like, all right, whatever you want to play, son. I want to support you, man. I'm like, I got you, man. I'm like, whatever. So when, you know, we got back to Virginia from Florida, he said that he want to try basketball. I'm like, all right, give it a try, man. You know, because we go out, shoot around here and there, or whatever. Guy first day of practice, man, just on the side, just hitting them. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's maybe probably lucky shots. Whatever,
yeah.
But that he was like to the point, like when somebody got that ball, I mean, he's on them. Or if he don't make that shot, like he's running down. I'm like, he's a competitor. I said, he's definitely a competitor because I coached him this past season in basketball. I was his coach. I'm done the season over with because because if he doesn't win, he is so hard on himself. But he plays an excellent game, man. The dude plays excellent. Like he runs point. He's bringing it up. You know, I'm like he's calling out plays, telling the players like to move out the way. Like I got this. Like move out the way. And I'm like crazy. And I sit on the sidelines, arms crossed, like go for it. And he goes for it, hits it. And I'm like, all right, hey, it's your team. You do what you got to do, man. So I didn't have that as a child. I needed somebody pretty much like, can I shoot it?
Right.
Can I do that? Right. Marco was like, nah, I got this, man.
I got this.
And I'm like, hey, man, you do your thing, man. And I just don't show Marco basketball, football. Me and Marco plays golf on Sundays.
Right.
Nice. You know, and I'm not a golfer, but I'm like, you know, let's teach him other things. He says, like, all right, he likes golf. I teach him a little bit of tennis.
Yeah, tennis is good.
You know, I'm like, people think the average black male got to play basketball and football.
Right.
Not true at all, man. Not true at all. I love golf.
Right.
Am I good at golf? No, but I like to go out there. I like to go out there and play.
You like it. Yeah.
So it's I think when he gets older, man, he's gonna do way better than me. You know, I really see it, man. As a father, I'm very proud of what he's accomplished right now. He's a great student in school.
Awesome.
Great student at school. He's smarter than me. He comes and he knows things that I probably wouldn't know in kindergarten. Like, who knows how to add in kindergarten? Like me, I was learning just my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And dude, sitting here the other day, he went to my wallet counting 5s and 1s. I said, what are you doing? He said, you know, you got $25 in your wallet. I said, how would you know that? How would you know that?
On top of it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, I'm honored to be his dad, man. Really, it's really good, man.
Yeah. See, that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. What you just said right there, you're honored to be his dad, man. Yeah. Like it don't sound like at all it's a burden to you.
No.
It sounds like it's something that you like is rewarding and you look forward to it.
Yeah.
You're proud of them. It sounds like you in awe of them. You know what I mean? Like I created that. Like this dude.
Me? I did that?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, ain't no way, man.
Yeah. That's something to take pride in for sure, man. Something to take pride in for sure.
It took two though. My wife, she really she put in that work too, man. I think majority will have to be her, man. You know, her coming from Eastern Europe, you know, he takes on a lot of that side too. So I think that gotta be a little bit, you know, it takes two genes to make a genius, I say, you know.
That's not I like that.
Yeah, man. So she really, you know, teaching him what he can, her language when he can, you know, you know, experience that culture, which he did experience that side of the culture or whatever.
Okay.
As well as this side of the culture, you know. So I think that he's getting both worlds, man. I think it's pretty much good for him, man, because he see how, you know, what's going on in America.
Yeah.
And then he see what's going on in Europe, you know, like the stuff that's happening over there as well, you know. So he sees it. And I think that, you know, he's kind of learning that aspect type style right there. So I think that's good right there for him to know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Marco's mom, your wife.
Yeah, it's Vesna.
Yeah, say it again.
So a lot of people who don't know how to pronounce it, they just call her Donna, but the pronunciation is Vesna.
Vesna.
It's Vesna.
Vesna.
So Zvijezdana is a long name.
Vesna.
It's Vesna. That's cool. That's pretty good.
That was pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good. All right. Yeah.
I've always been interested in I've met her, of course, and I've seen pictures and stuff, of course. I know briefly about the story. Where is she from? Where's her family?
So she is from Bosnia. A lot of people don't know Bosnia. You know, that's Eastern Europe.
Right.
So it's kind of like closer to Italy.
Right.
Would say, you know, she stays in a small town, Laskin. I believe I'm saying that correctly.
Okay.
I went to go visit her when we was just dating. And it's a beautiful, man. Beautiful area.
Hold on. You went to Bosnia?
I went to Bosnia, man. Yeah, I went.
All I know about Bosnia is like war torn.
That's back in 92. Yeah, back in 92. Yeah, that's when they had that big war.
Yeah.
You know, they had a fallout. Her family, you know, had a big fallout. I think everybody in that area did, man. But I went there, man.
That's crazy.
I went there 2014.
Okay.
To go visit her family. You know, we just started dating. She said she want me to see that lifestyle that they had, you know, as well as she want to see my lifestyle. We just started dating. We really want to know each other.
Right.
It was funny, man. You know, when I first of all, 16-hour flight, man, that was a toll on my body. You know, I'm like, man, 16-hour flight, you know, a beautiful flight at that. I mean, they offered me complimentary wine and food, but I'm like, no liquor. I said, bring me all the coffee you got, because I'm not sleeping, man. I'm not gonna sleep, because you know. But to make it funny is just that when I got off the airplane, man, it was like all eyes on me.
Really?
You know, because black man, Bosnia, you know what I mean? And I'm walking around, like people looking, and they told me that he has to be at least an athlete, a rapper, or somebody famous to come over here, you know?
Right.
You know, typically I have my big headphones on with everybody. Yeah. I think it was one time, it was like a little kid took his phone out, snapping pictures. I like, he must be something. He got to be something, whatever. particularly at home. I'm just your regular Carnival Cruise, entertainment work
funny,
staff. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
But it was good, man. They live in a small area where all her family stays like on the same block, man. It was pretty cool, man. It's kind of like one of those Disney movies. You walk out, they get their heads out the window. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, like it's
yeah. I can imagine like birds chirping, and butterflies flying.
I'm like, oh, this is definitely not Portsmouth. Like this is something different, man. It was just, and their culture wise too. Whatever, every time you visit somebody, they always have like pastries and wine for you, and it's salting if you don't eat it, man. I'm kind of like, I'm not a big sweet eater, you know what I mean? And I try to try to explain to it, whatever, it'd be a couple of times, I just be like, take a bite, have a little sip, show appreciation,
Right.
But here, in America, we offer you some water or whatever, not like a whole layout, pastries, pastries, whatever.
I thought about having some food or whatever, but I was like, I don't know what he
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, but for them, they lay everything.
Grapes,
right? Yeah, they lay everything out. I'm like,
no,
man,
for real, you want grapes? I got grapes now.
Nah, I'm good. But no, man, it's a different culture, man. And for Marco, when he went over there, he saw the same thing. He saw his cousins, and he was just like, wow. But he comes over here, he sees what's going on with the sad to say, the shooting of black males and stuff like that. Sad to say, you got to have a conversation with the child, that young man. But it's something that had to be done. Because you can't stop the child from watching TV and seeing it. You know what I mean?
Fatherhood.
And when I had that conversation with him, he actually came up and he was like, why this happened to a black person. I'm like, Marco, in the world we in today, man, it's just mean. It's mean,
Right.
And Marco's mixed.
Right.
He's a mixed child, and he says to me, he's like, when am I?
Right.
And I tell Marco, what do you feel like you are, son?
Right.
I can't really put a name on it,
Right,
I can't put a name on it. And he, this kind of cheered me up a little bit. He looked at me, he said, I'm you, Dad. I'm you.
Wow.
I'm black.
Right.
I'm like, well, son, you sure? He looked at me like, yeah. Like, because Marco's always around me. Like, he's always under me.
Yeah.
And if I'm at home, he's always under me, and
that's why I had another mic I was going to hook up for him.
Yeah.
If he wanted to be up here.
Yeah, like he was ready to come, of course, you got your kids downstairs. He's going to be with the kids,
the games
which is cool.
And stuff, yeah.
But, yeah, man. And I thought the conversation was going to happen when he gets like older, teenage years, whatever.
Right.
And he hit me with a loop, man. He came up to me. I was like, man, like my heart beating fast. I'm like, man, like only thing I can say is, man, just you tell me how you feel, son. It kind of teared him up too, whatever, because he said like, I'm you,
right?
I'm you, and I'm like, well, son, I love you regardless, man. Like, you know, whatever you feel like you are, But Marco's, he's an old soul. Like he was upset that he didn't go get to see Wu-Tang Clan. I play clean versions of rap music in my car, but the dude is listening to like he knows the rappers. He said, "Oh, I like Ghostface." He said, Marco. I said, "What you know?" He said, "I do like him." He said, "I like." He named what's the other rapper, the old school rapper, Redman. He said, "I like Redman."
For real?
Yeah, he listened because I listened to it, right? Right. And I'm sitting in my car, and he just like he likes it. He's bobbing his head, He said, "I want to go to a concert there." I said, "But well, you're not ready for concerts yet, but we can." Probably go when we get a little older, but this dude, man, he's a shadow of me, man. And I'm like, it kind of honors, man. He said he wants to, be like me, do like that, and I'm kind of like, what's up, man? It makes a father feel good. Even his uncles be kind of laughing, kind of like, dude, sit here listening to like old school rap music. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, man, whatever he wants, man. I said, hey, he might be one of those kids that kind of roll off and like listen to old music, you know what I mean? Because like I listen to old 70s music, 80s music, whatever. It might be for him. He likes old school music. So it's just one of those things. Yeah.
Nice. That's what's up. Yeah, man. You see, I got the record player back there.
Yeah, man. Nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I got some 45s. This lady was posted on Facebook Marketplace. She said she had like 50 45s out of a jukebox.
Wow.
She's selling for like $25. I said, I'll take them. I didn't even have a record player at that point, but I was like, same thing. Like, I like old music. So,
I do, man.
You know what I mean?
I love some music, man.
I want to introduce my kids to it and stuff like that. So, I was like, yeah, I gotta get those.
Man. I love music. Yeah, man. I love music, man. I love me some music.
Yeah. Of course, I know your brothers, and that's one of the things that what's up, buddy? Here's one of my kids coming up here. Probably shouldn't be up here, but is everything okay downstairs, son? It is. Okay,
Nice.
your shorts are a little high. Okay. All right. So you need something, buddy? All right, man. Give me that. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Peace. Love you, buddy. You just coming up here, huh?
Yeah.
All right. It's all good. I'm not recording nothing or doing nothing.
Yeah.
But nah, that's cool.
Nah,
But yeah, that's you. I told you about how I like. I that's what I do, man.
Yeah.
It's called the Where My Dad's At podcast, where we answer the call. You know what I'm saying? We right here.
Yeah.
And that, literally, like we right here, man. We're gonna help each other out, stick together, and we're gonna make it through this thing together. One thing I did want to make sure that we covered and we talked about is we kind of started. We talked about high school. I think we talked about your evolution into what you are now.
Mm-hmm.
But like your beginnings is an interesting story too. I heard when we were at your birthday party, you told a story about your beginnings and like coming to Virginia and stuff. Give me a little bit of that.
Oh yeah, man.
Like
so
your memories and your
So my father was military, man.
Right.
Was military. So we military brat. We travel a lot. So me coming from Germany. People don't know, I was born in Germany. And coming. We got welcome on the plane from my cousin. Really, I call her my sister Jessica. She welcomed me, man, with open arms, man. Said everything's gonna be okay, man. Like you good. You want to be good. Because me coming from Germany to America.
How old were you?
I had to been like I want to say 3 or 4 years old.
Okay,
3 or 4 years old. So I had a little glimpse here and there. But I wasn't familiar with it. You know what I mean? I wasn't familiar with it.
So did you speak German?
I did not. But as
Okay.
I was told, my mother said that I was able to understand it. And I was just like, wow. My brother, Marcus, he's fluent. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, dang, I should have at least kept it up or whatever. But
I took it for 4 years in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's I want to say a hard language.
I love it.
Yeah, but I think what happened was that, for me, I was around it so much that when I came to America, I had to take speech therapy classes because I was talking so fast. And people was like, and I was stuttering because my mind was that I did know some German.
Right.
But I'm trying to compensate it into English. So
right.
when I know what I want to say, but it's coming out too fast and verbally, whatever. So I had a speech impediment, and that was hard. But kids are mean.
Mean, very mean. Very
kids are mean. They're like, oh, Marco stuttered so much, or
Yeah.
why are you talking so fast? I can't understand you. Because if you realize in Europe, they're blah, 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 it's going fast. And you kind of like, what in the world's going on?
Yeah.
So that's the same thing in English. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm going fast, whatever, man.
Okay.
So that kind of led into my learning disability in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I know what I want to say, but it's coming out fast. And then when I do like the work, whatever, my mind just and jabble, whatever. I'm like, man, like when it came to math and numbers, God knows it was just out. It was out the woodworks, man.
Okay.
Like it was so. I would have to say that my upbringing from educational round is a struggle.
Right.
I would say that it was hard. It was hard. I mean, even to do homework with me, man, it was like you had to have some type of patience.
Right.
If you didn't, I was the type of child sitting at the table. Old school parents, they're yelling and hollering. You sitting there at the table, kind of like, man, I'm just not getting it. You know what I mean? But that's just old school parenting. They're like, and I'm just sitting there like, man, I'm just not getting it. I mean, it been times teachers said, man, Marco just need to go to a special ed. My mom would. The only thing my mom would, she would not allow me to go into a special ed class. I said, my son is not stupid.
Right.
He is not stupid at all.
Right.
Does it take him time to get something in his head?
Right.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
But that's like one of the struggles for me, man, with just like learning the concept of any type of studies in school.
Right.
Only thing I grasped with, surprise, was health and fitness.
Yeah.
Or something with science.
Right.
And that's one thing my parents and everybody knew, like, okay, he grasped something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when it came to like going to PE class and everybody's like trying to learn about like the muscles and stuff like that, me, it was kind of like, okay, it's a highlight of my life today. When I go, we got PE today. Word,
right.
We're gonna learn about so. I'm sitting there like focused in, like, oh man, that's cool, whatever. You know what I mean?
Funny, man.
Like another kid sitting there, kind of like, oh man, we're not gonna use this in life, whatever.
Right.
We're just here to get away from like the other classes, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sitting like, it's like, yeah, this is real work right here. I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It brightened my life up, man. I'm like, man, this is the best day, man. But yeah, man, that was education wise it was hard. That's why I said, you know, like earlier in the podcast was just like for my son, he's like very, very intelligent, man. That's why I'm kind of like, man, like I'm just blessed. Like when it comes to homework, the dude's up in there, you know, he's doing it. He sometimes, you know, of course I check after him, but he gets it. And I'm like, wow, man, like this is crazy, you know. And I learned from my parents' mistake, like for Marco, when it comes to homework, I don't be over him. If he doesn't get it, I don't holler. I'm like, hey, look, man, just try it again. Do what you got to do. Whatever. Right. I think that's what the relationship me and Marco has. Whatever, because he cries on his own when he knows that something's wrong with his homework. Like he'll come. You know what I mean? I'm the parent, like, hey man, don't cry. You got one wrong, man. And he'll look at me, but Dad, I should got 100% right. I'm like, man, dude, I'm like, I wish I was like that when I was a child.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're kind of like, I got one wrong, but he's kind of like, no, I got one wrong. And it really upset me. I'm like, man, I said, you were definitely going to have an educational background, man.
Right.
So I'm like, man, God really blessed me with that.
Right.
So I'm happy with that, man. I think the things I didn't have, I think that he been blessed to have all of that and more. And I really can't wait to see this guy really mature in life, man. It's something really exciting, man. I'm really blessed to have that.
Lord have mercy. I don't know what that was. But yeah. Like looking forward to who they're gonna be, who they're growing, they're gonna grow into. It's like, man, especially when they got like something going for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you want to see it. You're excited to see it. You don't want them to get older too quick. But it's like I can't wait to see what you like at like 18. I can't wait to see them. You know what I mean? You look forward to that. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. My Eli, who just came up here, he had what they call speech apraxia, something. Like at 2 years old, he wouldn't talk. Yeah. And so it got to the point where we were kind of like, okay, what's going on? But he went through this phase, like 18 months. He was doing all kind of like babbling and making some words and stuff. And then he just got to a point where he's just like, it wasn't like a thing of like, Eli, tell me what you want, and he wouldn't tell you. He'd tell you what you want, but there was no other conversation or whatever. So we took him to CHKD, and he had speech therapy for like 2 years.
Yeah, Marco did too.
Yeah, and then they said, well, he's getting ready to go to school, so let him go to school and see how he does. Yeah. His first year of school was the pandemic. Yeah. So like they had online, but I mean he's been pretty good. Like he's developed, so we're thankful for that. So I definitely understand. About that as well. It's tough. It's tough being a dad, man. It's tough being a dad because you have your like shortcomings. And your things where you feel like maybe you a failure or not where you want to be, and then you look at your kids, you're like, I hope they don't go through that. Yeah, man. And like they have their own individual personality, so you see their strong points. You see, you know. And it's funny you said he cries when he gets a bad grade, because I can still remember. I tell my kids to this day, I can still remember 6th grade when I got my first C. Wow. I got my first C in 6th grade on a math test. Because I used to struggle with math. But all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know if I hit puberty or whatever. And all of a sudden, I wasn't studying nothing. And then I got that bad grade out of nowhere, used to getting good grades. And it was like, what? And like, I won't lie, from there, I barely graduated high school. I barely. I still don't know how I did. I think my GPA was like a 1 point. I don't know how I graduated high school.
They probably round mines up. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I think they liked me or something. They're like, man, Will's a good kid. He can do it or whatever. Like, and I did the same thing. I went to Hampton University for like a semester. I went to Hampton University for like a semester, and all that money. I made the mistake of taking all that money.
Oh, not this guy.
I took all that money, and I feel bad because it's like my mom took all that money. But so I came back and went to community college too. I didn't finish community college either, but you know what I'm saying? I came, Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. I mean, I told I'm telling the young guys too, man. To get a career, you don't necessarily have to. I think people put a big. I mean, don't get me wrong. College is absolutely is great.
Right.
It's not for everybody though.
No.
You know what I mean? And
No.
I think a lot of people are pressing that the steps are, kindergarten all the way through high school. After high school, they think, you know what, you got to go to college. After college, you got to go to, I don't care, grad school or whatever. You know what I mean?
Nah.
You can get out of high school and go right into a field.
You can.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go if I knew that TCC was offering personal health and fitness,
right,
I would have been right in that joker. You know what I mean?
Right.
But instead, I STT, I forgot what it's called. They take the test to get into college. What is it called?
Yeah, the SAT.
Yeah, SAT.
Yeah.
I mean, I did okay, but it wasn't going to get me into like some type of school or whatever.
Yeah.
So, that's probably my fallout. I mean, I was out. I didn't go to school after high school with 2 years or a year. I took I was working at Walmart or something. I don't know, but if I knew that, I would have went right into TCC and I didn't go ahead and get this thing started, man. You know what I mean? Because I knew what I wanted to do, but I thought, I gotta go take arts and crafts, and I gotta do this in history class. You know what I mean? It would have bored me, and I knew that I would have flunked out right away.
Wow.
I knew that.
You knew it.
I knew that. That's why probably what got me was I wasn't in school, and I was going out partying after going to work, and because I ain't had no obligation, you know what I mean? I had nothing to, out partying and, go to work, party some more, whatever.
You had to worry about being up in class.
You know what I mean? I didn't have to worry about all that. I was going down, visiting my brother in Florida, going to parties and stuff like that, and I'm coming back, going back to work, you know what I mean?
Right.
I wasn't, but I think if I had that, it probably would have went a different route. But what I did, maybe God had a plan for me on that route. You know what I mean? I had to go through that. I had to go through that because, now I got it out my system. I was kind of do every person got to go through that? No. Everybody had their own story, man. Everybody got their own story. Mine's, and that was mine. You know what I mean? I think that overall, not going to school for a couple of years, the accident, going on the cruise ships, all that led to me now building up my Team Marco program.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because with all that, everybody, it's a story. I have a story. You know? And this is my story. You know, and Team Marco for me, it's a program that I'm hoping to grow, man. You know what I mean? I'm looking for years, to have, a gym on the East Coast somewhere.
Let's
you know
do
what
it.
I mean? You know what I mean? And I'm like, because my thing is that I want my son to have something.
Right.
He might not want to go to PT field. That's fine, but I want to at least have something. You know what I mean?
Right.
As black males, man, we gotta at least something for our kids.
Yeah. That's so important.
And I think my specialty is the PT and boot camps, though. And that's what I'm good at. And I think to what I do and what I love is really going to help my family. And for sure, right now it's helping. It's helping. You know what I mean? I have my boot camps. I have my clients. From my apartment gym. It's like my phone, my agenda is always full, man. I'm always staying busy, man. And I still gotta do the daddy thing. You know what I mean? I still gotta take Marco to do a sports thing.
Do his practices,
do his practices. I still gotta, at the end of the day, I'm tired. But I'm like, I'm doing. I wish I had this at the beginning. Working, driving, whatever. And I'm kind of like, oh man, I gotta do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because. My Team Marco groups they're awesome, man. They support. It's like a family thing. They, we got our own little chat groups. We send like jokes and this and that. You know what I mean? They message like, hey, do we gotta run six laps around the building? Right. I'm like, yeah, we gotta run 6 around the building. We think this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a good time too. We all send like little food recipes until they're gonna have like a Sunday cocktails and stuff like that. We have a good time too. Man. We have a good time too, man. I appreciate all of them, man, because they really did help me. They stood with me from the beginning to the end. We started with our uniforms being 2021. Now we got our 2023 uniforms.
Yeah.
I'm looking to keep this thing rolling until
Let's
the
do
numbers
it.
keep on
Yeah.
duplicating, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being on the team too as well, man. You know, photography wise, even supporter wise, being on your podcast, man. Like it's just something that it's kind of like eye opener for me. Like this stuff is really happening for me,
Right,
man. Like it's
right.
happening, and it's kind of like, you know, I want to keep this ball. I want to keep this highness. I want to keep this
Yeah.
rolling, man. I want to keep
Yeah.
this going. You know what I mean? It's like
There's no
man,
reason not to.
right? And I'm like, man, God, you really did all this for me. Like
Yeah.
I said, you know what I mean? Because you know, be sometimes you're like, man, like I don't think I'm going nowhere. And then
Right.
you see this, it's like it's going and going.
Right.
Uniforms, podcast, getting photography. People asking me to come talk in front of them. You know, the class. You know, I'm like, man. I said, hey, man,
motivational
right? I mean,
speaking.
and it's not that people like on the street, they know who I am. I don't know who they are. Like
Right.
I had we had a comedy show at my apartment complex, and the guy that the main act, he got on. He was like, he looked at me. He was like, "Aren't you the crazy personal trainer everybody's talking about?" And I'm like, it depends. He was
Yeah.
like, man, I gotta get with you, man.
Right,
I gotta
right,
get with you.
right,
I'm
right.
like, man, like people know me. You know
That's
what I mean? I'm like,
awesome,
wow.
man.
Like it was like,
That's awesome,
and he
man.
reached out to me too. He was like, you know, I want to get some sessions in, man. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm like, hey, man, if you're willing to sacrifice your body, man, like
Let's go.
just go for it,
Let's
man.
go.
So yeah, that's good, man. It's real
Yeah.
good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. Yeah. I've definitely it's been awesome watching it. It's been awesome being a part of it, man. Y'all definitely welcome me with open arms.
Yeah.
And give me an opportunity to practice my craft.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, I just want to help in any way I can, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Man.
I just want to help in any way I
Hey,
can.
man, we like I said, man, you help me, I help you, man. You know, my team, they already welcome you open arms, man. They was
Yeah.
like, man, they, you know, they said whatever we can give, man, we give, man.
Right.
I was like, hey, man, whatever's appreciated, man. They
Yeah.
said, man, hey,
Yeah.
we want to keep this guy around, man. You
Good.
know? I'm like, hey,
Good.
let's do this, man.
Good.
So yeah, man, you official, man. You're really official.
Yeah. Like I said, and I kind of told you earlier that the setup we using right now,
Yeah.
the cameras and stuff that I've purchased and
Yeah.
different things,
Yeah.
it's been inspired by cats like you, specifically you in this case, because like you're the first person like I flew the drone and did drone footage
Man.
for. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I feel honored, man.
You know what I mean?
When you get your own official studio, man, you gotta have it right on your wall, man.
Yes, for sure. Matter of fact, I might start something like that
A little
here.
board, yeah,
And then
man.
so that as I build, I just take it
Uh-huh.
with me and build
Uh-huh.
with it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's definitely the plan, man.
Yeah, man.
That's definitely a plan. I actually thought about like trying to rent out like a library space or something for us to do this in.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, let me get this. I got all the stuff here. Let me get it set up here.
Yeah.
And we're up on the third floor, so it's a little bit insulated from everything. So
Yeah.
for right now, I work out of here, but then eventually I like to get to a place where I can rent out,
Yeah.
you know, a little office space or something like that.
Right.
You know, so yeah, man, it's been awesome working with you. And
Thanks, man.
I look
Thanks.
forward to the future, man.
Oh man,
I
me
look
too,
forward to
man.
the
I mean
future.
too, man. Let's do this. Let's grow this, man. Let's do this.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, man.
Yeah, man.
There anything else you want to let the people know?
Yeah,
Like
man.
Social medias,
Yeah,
and stuff
man.
like that.
Yeah, man. So you can follow me on Facebook at Team Marco 757 Health and Fitness. I have my boot camp classes at Portsmouth YMCA. If you want to be a member of the YMCA, come join. You can be able to take my classes on Wednesday and Thursdays at 6 o'clock and on Saturdays at 10 a.m. If you want PT sessions, you can hit me up on the Facebook page I gave you, Team 757 Health and
Nice.
Fitness. You can message me. We can go from there. Again, if you're looking to get results, I'm that type of guy that's going to push you. I'm going to be there to really motivate, man.
Yeah.
I am a pusher. I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I've heard some stories.
You heard stories, man. The first day of class, potentially you gonna throw up. It's like
that's a goal.
Like you're in the class if you ain't vomit because
your initiation.
everybody in my
you gotta
class,
work.
everybody in my class said they vomit once.
Right.
Or they swallowed it, or they
Right.
wait till they got to the bathroom.
Oh, Lord.
One of those twos, but they was like, hey, we officially in.
Come on.
But yeah, man. But
Come on.
yeah, guys, if you're trying to get it in, man, reach out, man. I'll be honored.
I don't know if you're gonna get more people because of that or not, man.
Hey, and look, I'm being honest, right?
Yeah,
Because
he's being honest.
I'm being honest. But if you ask anybody on my page, you can message them, whatever. They'll tell you the truth about me, man. Come out, get this workout, man. Come join Team Marco, man.
Let's go.
It's gonna be a rewarding for yourself. Let's do this.
Let's go. I love it. And this is the Where My Dad's At podcast, man, where we answer the call and we say we right here, yo. Like, as dads, we're gonna step up. We're gonna build businesses to leave for our children. We're gonna build businesses and do things to help our community. Because we can do it, man. We can do it. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. So peace. Appreciate y'all listening. Take it easy. Where my dad's at, we right here, yo. That's what's up, man.
It's nice, man.
That's what's up, man. I love it. Did we talk about everything?
Yeah, man. We got everything.